Winston-Salem, North Carolina, about a half hour away from High Point. You're in Portland right now. If you were me and I were running to High Point to go celebrate somewhere, where might I go?
I'd just go right to campus because the best action in High Point is right on our campus. We got a hibachi, a 5-star steakhouse, a 5-star hotel. So we'll just send you right to our campus.
Maybe get some Mario's pizza or something like that. Coach Clayman, have you seen any of the reaction from your campus? How much of a sense do you have of what today's win means for your school?
I've been on the phone a little bit, seeing some, but I've had to put it down because it's been I can't even tell you how crazy it's been with the messages and the emails and the everything, and just seeing our guys and our team on that national stage, that national recognition. Like, I'm just so happy for them. That's really what it's all about for me, is them having this happiness, and I'm just so happy for them because they worked so hard for this moment. You hope it's going to play out in a magical way like this. You ask them to sacrifice, and for it to happen, and them to get to have this victory lap today, I just love it for them.
You mentioned your phone. I'm going to assume for a second you have an iPhone and you have notifications on the message app. What was the number? You remember the number when you first picked it up after the game?
I mean, I don't, but it's in the thousand, thousand plus. Yeah, yeah. It's
Now,
pretty hectic.
I've been told that you're already heavy into film, getting ready for the next game. In sports, there's an expression called the 24-hour rule, but when you only have one day in between NCAA tournament games, by the way, High Point coach Flynn Clayman joining us, what's the rule for celebration now for your guys?
I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I've tried my best to kind of have the personality of, like, let's not get too high, like that, and not get too low. And I felt like that's going to serve us well, in terms of getting to this tournament and having a chance to win it. We had a great celebration after the game, but these guys have kind of taken on that personality of, like, we didn't do the whole water bath thing and all that. Like, they felt like, you know what, like, our goal here is we told them when we got on the plane that there's 4 teams in our little pod in Portland, and one of them's getting out, and one of them's going to get on this plane and be happy. And I think that's the only way they're going to have a true celebration, if we're getting on that plane and heading to a Sweet 16. But we did have a very happy moments, and we're not celebrating like crazy, but they're happy.
Because I'm a local to the Triad area of North Carolina, I feel obligated to try to help you with your prep. I don't know if you see it on your tape, but number 5 for Arkansas, he's pretty good. Um, what's your initial reaction to watching Darius Acuff Jr. on tape?
Oh, I mean, he's obviously one of the best basketball players in the world. That's why he's going to be, if not the number one pick, right up there. He has no weaknesses, and that's what the great players do. So, you know, I grew up in LA. I grew up, playing with and against the best of the best, multiple NBA MVPs, from Russell Westbrook to Paul George to James Harden, all these guys. I know what the best of the best look like, and he looks like them. What you got to try to do is try to do your best to maybe make him a passer, as much as possible, and try your best to make other people beat you. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have to score a lot of points at the end of the day to hang with them, because you ain't completely shutting the guy down like that. And it was the same thing today. We thought that about Boyd going into it, and Blackwell. Like, you're not gonna completely shut those guys down. Can we frustrate them enough and make enough plays to get out with a win? And that's obviously what we're gonna have to do.
If I were making a case for why college basketball is special compared to the NBA, if you're comparing the two, I would point to your game today, beating Wisconsin, and more specifically, the story of number 99, Chase Johnston, 136 attempts from the field going into today, 132 of those attempts from three-point land, 0 of 4 on two-point shots. But it is him getting ahead of the pack that hits his first two-point bucket of the year in what turns out to be the game-winning basket for your school's first ever NCAA tournament win. How much do you enjoy the Chase Johnston story? Or as somebody who has the front row seat, what do you enjoy most about it?
You know, the thing about Chase is he's not just a 3-point specialist. He was all conference 2 times in the A-Sun before he got here, and he was shooting twos and he was shooting floaters and he was doing all those things. Um, this year, I said, look, man, like with the talent we have on this team, we need you to be a specialist. We need you to be the most efficient shooter in the country. Um, he didn't love it at first, but because he's such a good kid and he's such a winner, he accepted that. And when he started going viral after our conference tournament for having 64 threes and 0 twos, I thought, man, that's pretty cool. Like that, he decided to take that role on, and because of that role, he went viral. And then for it to go like it did today, for him to now be 1 for 5 from two, and that basket to give us the win. I mean, you can't make it up, right? You just cannot make that stuff up. And for him to have this moment, it's just. It's a feather in the cap to guys that try to be good teammates, try to take on a role, and try to be and do what your team needs them to win. And if you trust that process, man, magic can happen. Magic can happen, and it happened for him today.
Flynn Clayman's with us here. He's the head coach at High Point. He's also the first-year head coach at High Point because you 2 seasons ago joined Alan Huss there and Coach Huss, and you got High Point to their first ever NCAA tournament appearance a year ago. He moves on, going back to Creighton, coach and waiting for Coach McDermott out that way. You get the opportunity there, but like you mentioned, West Coast guy, no ties really to the Southeast or to the state of North Carolina. How special of a place has High Point become for you over the last 2 years, and what does it mean for you specifically to be the guy to get them over the hump?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we gotta give Coach Huss like a ton of credit and a ton of thanks because I came in as his associate, but he had a plan for how he wanted to run a program, and obviously it was a great plan. We won 27 games our first year, 29 games our second year, made it to the tournament our second year. And so, I might not be the smartest guy in the room, but I'm smart enough to copy something that's really good. So we took those principles that he laid and kept them going, and obviously I added my twist to some things, but got to give him a ton of credit. Now, High Point University to me is just I can't thank them enough. It's not just a special place for me, it's a special place. Okay. So like it was voted the best run university in the country 2 years in a row by Princeton Review. And you can just go on down from there. We had hundreds and hundreds of High Point students at our game today. And that's because our university chartered a flight out to have them at our game. And we had the longest distance to travel of any team in the NCAA tournament. And they still got hundreds and hundreds of students to our game, and they're flying another plane out for Saturday to make it even more. So, and then just the way that they hired me so quick, like they could have gone out and done anything they wanted because this job was highly sought after when Coach Huss left. They could have gotten sitting head coaches. They could have got anything. And I met with our athletic director, Dan Hauser, and then I met with our president, Nito Cubane. And within an hour, they offered me the job. And how quick they did that and how much they believed in me when I knew that they could go out and get a lot bigger names. When they did that, man, I was like, I gotta make this work for these guys. Like they believed in me. They didn't have to believe in me. That's just the kind of person I am. If somebody believes in me, and just couldn't be happier for them that it's played out the way it's played out.
Following through on the personal note, mention your phone and how many texts and calls. Who was the first phone call you made after you went back to the locker room?
First phone call I made. I Coach Huss actually. Yep. He got me there for a bit. We FaceTime for a bit. I had to decline a bunch because they were just flowing in like nonstop, but I accepted his, and we talked for a bit, and he's just really happy. He's really happy for us. He's really happy for this program. He's a different kind of guy when it comes to this college sports. Like he genuinely wants people who helped him to succeed. Sadly, in this business, I think you see a lot times like, yeah, you're my assistant, but like I never really want you to be better than me or do something bigger than me. Like when he left this place, he did everything he possibly could to help this program continue in the direction that it's going, and he's so happy for us. So that was my first call because my family was there, so I got to see my family right after, and then that was the first guy I talked to on the phone.
It is 8:30 Pacific time where you're at right now. When do you go to bed? How much sleep do you think you'll get tonight?
I'm still riding the high a little bit, but I'll probably end up watching some film here, and I'd imagine I'd crash here at some point because what a day it's been. But maybe I'll just keep riding through the night. I don't know. We got we don't have to get up too early tomorrow. We got midday practice to prep, but we'll see. We'll see if I can get any sleep tonight with the day that we had.
Okay, I already said I'd help you with prep. On the way out, I'll give you a hand because you're doing me a favor by coming on our national program. We appreciate High Point head coach Flynn Clayman with us here on Westwood One Sports, home of the NCAA tournament. Since I'm about 30 minutes away from campus and where your home's at, do you have a dog or something? Do you need somebody to take the dog out or anything? I'm here. I can help you if you need it.
Yeah, my dog Hatch is at the house, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Katie set up a dog sitter for us, or else Hatch might not make it by the time I get back, both of us. But I appreciate the offer, but I think we got to handle.
Best of luck against Arkansas. Congratulations. I know I can hear them from over there that they're so pumped for what your team did in Portland today. Thanks for the visit. And again, go get them against Arkansas this weekend, Coach.
Thanks, appreciate it.